Hello, in this lesson we are going to do a quadratic review for grade 10 academic math. And for quadratics, there are three key points. So this is the graph intersect with the y-axis. We call this is y-intercept. So this is the first type of key point. And the second one is a vertex. So this is a turning point, the highest or lowest point. And also we have other two key points. We call these two the graph intersect with y-axis. If we call them x-intercept. And for the quadratic function set, you are going to solve for one of these type of points. So we are going to go over each of them. So in the question, if the question asks you for the y value, it doesn't matter it's an initial value or any other points, the y coordinate, then we are going to do the substitution. Substitute the x need to be given. Then what we are going to do is just sub in the x value to either the standard form or other factor form or vertex form. It doesn't matter which type of forms are given, you just do the substitution. So sub x equals the number, then replace the x with a given value, then you are able to find the y value. So for y coordinate, if for initial, so if the question asks you for initial height, initial cost, or something like those, as long as looking for the y value is substitution, but for initial, it is special because that is your y-intercept. And for the initial y-intercept, x is always 0. So you sub in x equals 0, then you will have a y value. So the second type of question asks you for the vertex. How can you tell that the question is asking you for vertex? You look for the keyword, max, minimum, or vertex. So when you are looking for vertex, there are two ways you could do it. If the question is given in standard form, then you are going to convert it to vertex form. So this one we call completing the square. So for example, if we have y equals negative 3x squared plus 60x plus 10. So if we have one example in this way and it asks you for the maximum or minimum value, then what you are going to do is convert it to vertex form. So when we are doing converting the vertex form, make sure that in the bracket you have simple 1x squared there. So divided the first two terms with in standard form, then only divide by the a value. You will have x squared, then minus 20x here. Then leave the 10 outside. After that, we could do the half of this number. So negative 20 I together equals negative 20, then half of it will be negative 10, negative 10. Then times together give you 100. So it means we are going to minus 20x, then plus 100. Then the two numbers times together 100, add together negative 20 will be the negative 10, negative 10. So in the bracket we don't have constant, so we are going to plus 100 minus 100 give you 0, then plus 10. So the first three terms is simple trinomial, then two numbers add together negative 20 times together 100 is negative 10, then another negative 10 here will give you squared. Then negative 3 times negative 100 give you plus 300, then plus 10. Then collect the like terms. For the constant term, it will give you 310. So this is a method that is just add half b squared, then minus half b squared. So half b give us negative 20 over 2 is negative 10. Then half b squared give you 100. Then plus 100 minus 100. This is this way, or we could use a box method. So x squared minus 20, x inside the bracket, and the plus 10 is outside. So whatever inside the bracket, we are going to split the negative 20 to half. So negative 20 divided by 2, negative 20 divided by 2 give you negative 10, negative 10. Then we factor the first row, you have x, and do the division, you have x minus 10, then negative 10x divided by x give you negative 10. Then in order to make a perfect square, we need to add 100 here. Then also we need to take away 100, then we have 0 here. By doing this, we are going to have negative 3 bracket x minus 10 times x minus 10 give you x minus 10 squared. This 2 by 2 box will give you x minus 10 bracket squared. Then the constant outside the box, we didn't use it yet. We times with a value at front. Then negative 3 times negative 100, then plus 10. You will have negative 3 bracket x minus 10 bracket squared, then plus 310. So you will see they are same. So the first one is just traditional methods. Most of the textbooks will use this method, and the second one we call it box method. So pick the method that you are comfortable with. The mark will be given this way, so you take the negative 3 outside of the first two terms, then you have 1 mark. Then you add or subtract the 100 correctly, another mark, then final answer, another mark. So 3 marks. So this one, you need to, negative 3 bracket x squared minus 20x plus 10, do this step first. Okay, no matter it's a traditional method or box method, you need to do this a value out first. So just the first two terms divided by the a value. Whatever inside the bracket need to be 1x squared. The reason is vertex form is bracket x only, so x times x give you x squared. So that is from standard form to vertex form. And if is factor form given, factored form given, then ask you to find the vertex. For example, we have -3 bracket x minus 1 x plus 3. This is a factor form. From factor form, how can we find the vertex? This is open down and the zeros will be +1, -3. So we let each bracket equal 0, then you are able to find the zeros. So move the -1 to other side, give you opposite. +1 plus 3 move to other side is -3. So you have 1 and -3 as your x-intercept, then the vertex will be at the middle of these 2 points. So the midpoint of these 2 points will be average of the 2 zeros. Then it will give you -1. So this is your axis of symmetry. So this is your p-value. And we sub the p-value back into this equation, you could find the q-value. -3 bracket -1 minus 1, then -1 plus 3. You will have -3 times -2 and +2 give you +12. So you will have -3, -1, +12 as your vertex. And we have PQ, we have the A value. Then we could write the vertex form as -3 bracket x minus p minus 1 becomes +1, then +12. So from factor form, you could find the midpoint, then sub in the midpoint to the factor form, then you are able to find the q. Once you have APQ, then you could sub into y equals a bracket x minus p bracket squared plus q, the vertex form, to find the vertex form. So this is for second type of the points, the vertex. How to find the vertex from standard form, completing the square. From factor form, we could find the x-intercept, find the midpoint, then sub the midpoint back, find the q, then you have the vertex. Then you could write it in vertex form. So this is the 2 key points, okay? Y-intercept and the vertex. So the last but not least, the x-intercept. So we are going to see the question. If the question asks you for x-intercept, for example, sometimes it will be the hit the ground. Then it means the height is 0, or if reach 1 meter, the height is 1. So for example, if we have one question in this way, -5t squared plus 20t, then plus 2. It asks you hit the ground, then we let h equals 0. In this equation, we have 2 variables, h and t. And when we want to solve for one equation, we need to have only one variable left. So if you are looking for t, then the height need to be given. So hit the ground, height is 0. Reach 1 meter, then height will be 1. So it will be, once you sub in, you will find out 0 equals -5t squared plus 20t plus 2 for the first type of question. And for the second type of question, you sub in y equals negative 5t squared plus 20t plus 2. So for the first question, it's just a equals negative 5, b equals 20, c equals 2. Then you could use quadratic formula for this one. And for the second one, make sure when we want to solve for a quadratic equation, one side must be 0. So we need to move the 1 to other side. Then you have 0 equals negative 5t squared plus 20t. 2 minus 1 give you plus 1. Then the ABC is a equals negative 5, b equals 20, c equals 1. So we are going to write a quadratic formula out. Minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, then you just sub in ABC value, you could find the time. So this is a one way. If not factorable, then quadratic formula. So one method is just quadratic formula. And if it's factorable, then I highly encourage you to do the factoring. And we are going to review how to factor a trinomial or factor quadratics. So there are two types or more than two types, but the others we could include them into these two types. So first one is simple trinomial. Simple trinomial factoring. So for example, if we have an equation is 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 equals 0, and if you have a quadratic equation that both sides you have numbers, you need to move everything to one side by doing opposite operation, so make it into a standard form. So this simple trinomial, this one we call tricky trinomial. Simple trinomial means the number at front of the x squared need to be 1. Okay. So for this one, we are going to do the finding two numbers, I together negative 3 times together 2. So we find the factor of 2, you have 1 times 2 only. So I together is negative, then the larger number need to be negative. So times together is positive, you need to have the same sign. So negative 1 times negative 2 give you positive 2. Negative 1 plus negative 2 give you negative 3. So these two numbers works. So we just put these two numbers inside the bracket. Then you could double check x times x, x squared. Negative 1 times negative 2 give you positive 2. Then negative 2x, negative 1x give you negative 3x. So this one is correct. Then in order to solve for the zeros, what we are going to do is let each bracket equal 0. The reason for it is x minus 1 equals 0, 0 times anything give you 0. If x minus 2 equals 0, 0 times anything give you 0. So as long as we find the number will make x minus 1 equals 0, then that is the solution, one of the solutions for this triangle, this quadratic equation. And this one, opposite operation plus 2 is x equals 2. So these are the two x-intercepts by doing factoring. And for factoring, we also have another type of factoring, is complex trinomial. Complex trinomial is like one of the example, 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 equals 0. So this one we just do the, make sure that when you are looking for two numbers add together, -3 times together is a times c. A times c, 2 times 1. So the factor of 2 give us 1 and 2 because it's a prime number. So 1 times 2, then you will find out the two numbers will be larger number negative, so -2. Add together is negative, so larger number need to be same sign as a sum, so -2, -1. So we have -1, -2, but this is a complex trinomial. We are not able to put in a bracket right away because -1 times -2 won't give you 1. And what we could do is rewrite this -3x with -1, -2. So -2x then plus 1 equals 0. So group the first two and factor the common factor out. So you have x as common factor, then each term in the first bracket divided by x, you have 2x minus 1. And for the second, the last two terms, we want to have 2x. So -2 divided by 2x give you -1. So each term divided by -1, you will have -2x divided by -1 give you 2x. Positive 1 divided by this -1 give you -1. Then inside the bracket, you will see they are same. Treat them as unit, so x hours minus 1 hour, or treat this one as dollars. So x dollar minus $1 is x minus 1, then dollars. So treat this same the bracket with same terms inside as unit. Then you have x minus 1, then dollars. The dollars is 2x minus 1. Once we have this factored form, then each bracket, let it equal 0. We are looking for the value of x will make each bracket equal 0. So the first one is x equals 1, and second one, move the 1 to other side is plus 1, then move the 2 to other side will be division. You will have x equals 1 or 2. And you will see that the two numbers we found, they are same, but because this is complex trinomial, then the answers will be rewrite the middle numbers, then regroup them and solve. So the answers of the zeros, they are not same. And also from here, we could double check x times x, 2x squared. X times 2x give you 2x squared, first term, -1 times -1 is positive 1, give you the last term, middle, minus 2x minus x, give you negative 3x. And also for the second complex trinomial, you also could use a box method. Once we have this, so I will show you the box method to do the factoring. So for box method, we still need to find the two numbers times together is AC equals 2, add together -3. So we still have -1, -2. And we are going to draw a box. The first term from the standard form, 2x squared, we put in the first box. Last term, we put in the last box. And the two numbers we found, we put them diagonally to these two cells. So it will be -1x, -2x. Then collect the like terms, it will be 2x squared minus 3x plus 1, same as a given trinomial. Then we factor the first row. You will see is x, a common factor, same as the first two box, first bracket. Okay. Then we do the division. This is 2x. This is negative x divided by x, negative 1. Then do the division. Negative 2x divided by 2x is negative 1. Last term, negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1 is right. So this is one bracket. This is another bracket of the factored form. So 2x minus 1, then bracket x minus 1 equals 0. So the order doesn't matter. X minus 1 times 2x minus 1 is same as 2x minus 1 times x minus 1. Then each bracket equals 0. You will have the same x-intercepts, or we call zeros. Okay, so this is both of them. You have 3 terms. Then the next question, I will show you the 2 terms. So if you have x squared minus 16 equals 0. So you could think that is the x squared plus 0x minus 16 equals 0. So it will come back to the trinomials. So 2 terms, always you could change it to 3 terms. Or if you have 2 terms, x squared plus 3x equals 0, you could convert it by adding another term to change it. Okay, so for this one, you are looking for 2 numbers. I together is 0, times together negative 16. So you need to have 2 numbers same. 2 numbers same will be square root of 16, give you 4, and another one will be negative 4, because I together you need to have 0. So then you have x plus 4 bracket, x minus 4 bracket equals 0. So this one we also call it difference of squares. So we have x plus 4 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0. Then you have x equals negative 4, and x equals positive 4. And for this question, so we are looking for 2 numbers. I together 3 times together is 0. So 0, we always have 0 times any numbers will give you 0. So I together 3, then another number will be 3. So we have x plus 0, x plus 3 equals 0. Then x plus 0 equals 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. Move the plus 3 to other side is negative 3. Then this one is just x equals 0. So this is another way you could factor 2 terms, or you could use common factor. These two terms, the common factor is x. Then each term divided by x give you x plus 3 equals 0. So the first one, you could think x by itself in brackets. So each bracket equals 0. You will have the same answer. This one give you x equals negative 3. And this one you could use a difference of squares. So a squared minus b squared. Then we put the a, b in the bracket, 1 plus 1 minus. So a times a give you a squared, b times negative b squared, middle, a times b minus a times b, it will be 0. So this one is a formula for difference of squares factoring. So this is covered almost everything that you need to know for quadratics. So this one is looking for x-intercept. If not factorable, make sure one side is 0. Then use a quadratic formula, a, b, c, all of them, no variables, just constant, just numbers. Then sub into this quadratic formula, you can find the answers. Or you could do the factoring. So find the two numbers, times together equals the 2, add together equals -3. And each bracket equals 0. When solve for x, make sure you need to continue solve for 8. So once you have this factor form, you have 2 marks, and you have the final answer correct, another 2 marks. So complex trinomial is you find the two numbers times together is a times c. The add together is middle number. Then you could use traditional method, rewrite the middle number by the two numbers you found. Then group the first two, common factor 8. The last two, you just use a -2 divided by whatever in the bracket. Then you are able to find the number at front of the second bracket. Then do the division. The last two terms divided by the number at front of the second bracket. You should be able to have that inside the bracket they are same. Treat these brackets, two brackets as unit. So like dollars, $x minus $1 give you x minus $1. Then each bracket equals 0, solve it. And also, if don't use a traditional method, you could use the box method. The two numbers you found, put them diagonally in these boxes. Then factor the first row, then do the 3 divisions. Inside the box is area divided by one side, give you another side. Then inside the box, that area divided by one side to get another side. And this one, in the side the bracket, the area divided by one side, give you other side. Then this is one side, this is other side, this is the length, this is width. You have this area of this rectangle. So length times width is your factor form, and go from there. If you have 2 terms, you could change them to 3 terms by add whatever the missing term with 0 times. So constant not there is +0. Then you could use a trinomial factoring method, factor them to do it, or you could use a difference of squares to do the 2 terms if they have subtract. All 2 terms you could use common factoring to solve it. Then each bracket equals 0, solve for the x-intercept. So, and for the y-intercept, it's just do the substitution. So sub the x value to find the y value. Initial value, x is 0. And for the maximum, minimum, or vertex, it means you are looking for this turning point. Maximum, minimum happens at the turning point. If standard form, then completing the square. And make sure always inside the bracket is x squared, 1x squared. So you need to take the a value out from the first 2 terms in the standard form. 2 x terms divided by the a value. Then this is your new b value. Then half b is a number from this one. Then we are going to add half b squared. The reason for that is add together is -20. We want the 2 numbers same. Then we could have the perfect squared. So half of this one give you the 2 numbers same. then times together is 100. Like x minus 10, bracket x minus 10, you will see it gave you 100. So that's the reason we put this 100 here. Then we add 100 in the bracket, we don't have a number there, so we need to minus 100. Then -3 times a value times minus half b squared will give you the constant term. Collect them, you will have p and q. If open down -3, then open down you have a maximum value there. If open up, then you will have the turning point minimum value of the y there. And this is a traditional method. Also, you could use a box method. Half b, put here, then factor it, add half b squared minus half b squared, make it equal 0, then go from there. And if factor form given, we don't have to expand it to standard form, then change it to vertex form. We could find the 2 zeros right away, then find the middle, that is your p value. Sub this p value back into the factor form, you will have the q value. Then pq is your vertex. So this is a review of quadratics for grade 10 academic math, and thanks for watching. So instead of looking for the y-intercept, x-intercept, and the vertex, another type of question is the quadratic equation is not given, but the sum of information about the 3 key points was given. So y-intercept may be given, and x-intercept may be given, or the vertex may be given. Then from the given information, we want to find the equation of the quadratic function. So if the x-intercept are given, and also x-intercepts given, and also the one point other than the x-intercept is given, so another point is given, so the third point was given, and the point is given, and also a point. Is given, then we are able to find the equation of the quadratic function. So if x-intercept, or we call it the zeros, are given, then we are going to use a factor form. So we have 3 form. This is a factor form: x minus r, x minus s. R and s are the zeros. So for example, for this question, we have 1 and 3 as the zeros. So r equals 1 and s equals 3. And another point we could use is y-intercept. On the y-intercept, the x is 0. So 0, 3 is given. Then that point, they are the x-coordinate, y-coordinate. So it's 0, 3. Then we have these 4 variables given. In this equation, we have a, x, y, r, and s. We have 5 variables. In one equation, 5 variables, we are not able to solve it. We need to have only 1 variable left. So 4 need to be given. And from the given information, we are going to see we have rs, xy given, so we have 4 given. Then we sub in all this given information into this equation, we are going to have 3 equals a bracket 0 minus r is 1, x is 0 minus r is 3. Then we have 3 equals a times negative 1, 0 times negative 3 give you 3. In order to solve for a, we do the opposite operation to move the 3 to other side. This is multiplication, so opposite is divide. So we have a equals 1. Then in the equation before, we have 5 variables. X, y need to be left. So we need ARS to be given. So a is 1, r is, so we are going to sub a equals 1, r equals 1, s equals 3. Into the factor form, we are going to have y equals 1 times x minus 1 bracket x minus 3. Then this is equation for this graph given, and sometimes it's not graph given, it's just using word descriptions to give you the information. So as long as you see the x-intercept or zeros, then factor form. And if the question give you not x-intercept but vertex and plus a point given, then we are going to use a vertex form. So from this, the given graph, we are going to see the vertex PQ is 2, negative 2. Then we pick one other point. We still could pick the y-intercept is 0, 3, or any other point that from the question is given. Okay. Then we have PQXY in the equation vertex form. We are going to see a bracket x minus p bracket squared plus q. And in this equation, you will see AXY, PQ. You also have 5 variables. So we need 4 given, then we are able to solve that equation. And we are going to see here P, Q, X, Y. So 4 given, then we sub in 3 equals this vertex form. A bracket, X is 0, P is 2, minus P, okay? Then plus Q is minus 2. In this equation, we are going to have 3 equals, okay, so this is not 2, negative 2, it's 2, negative 1. The vertex is 2, negative 1. This is go by 0.5, so here is negative 1. Then we are going to have a times negative 2 squared give you 4. We move the negative 1 to other side is plus 1. So it's 3 plus 1. So we have 4 equals a times 4. Move the 4 to other side, do the opposite operation with multiplication is division. So we have a equals 1. Then we are going to sub 3 variables, a equals 1, or we call parameters, and PQ into the vertex form. Then you are able to find the equation in vertex form is y equals 1 times x minus 2 bracket squared plus 1. If we expand both of them, you should be able to have the same equation. They are just in different format. So if we expand x squared minus 3x minus 1x plus 3, it will be y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. So this is in standard form, and here if we expand it, so x minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 2 means x minus 2, x minus 2. So we are going to have x squared minus 2x, then minus 2x plus 4, and here, sorry, is minus 1. So this way is minus 1. So x minus 2 bracket squared minus 1, then minus 1, we are going to have x squared minus 4x plus 3. You will see, yeah, the standard form they are same. So factor form, vertex form, you have 3 different forms for this same quadratic function. So if the given information is not from a graph, but only say vertex is, a point is, then the point is your x coordinate, y coordinate. So you have 4 variables given. Okay, so that is all for this video. Thanks for watching.